Who the hell are they? They've seen this, they've seen that. Have any of our people seen this supposed monster? No, I thought not. Call me if you have something. Oh, hello? Hello? If you should bump into him, ask him if his name is King Kong.
That's trash.
Hello and welcome to That's Cool, That's Trash, the podcast where we watch a psychotronic movie online, then get together on Skype to break down the crazy. I'm Matt Howell. We've got a little something different for you this week. I was joined by JB from the Broken Plane podcast, and we got mic'd up and went on location to see a screening of the 1976 3D movie Ape. And we recorded our review in the days following. So let's go to the tape, where I'm joined in my vehicle by JB outside the theater. I'm sitting here with JB. Thanks for joining me.
Huh?
And where are we?
We are about ready to go into the Joy Cinemas in Tigard.
And what are we here for?
We are here for Ape, the 1976 release movie Ape, which apparently stands for, I had it, animal... Primate, monster... Murder? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, there was an acronym, and I couldn't...
They got very creative with the acronym, the last letter.
Well, the E obviously is in monster, but near the end where you wouldn't really expect it to be
Not
used
really officially.
for an acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you know about this movie, if anything?
You know what? I did just a little bit of reading some IMDb, looking. Apparently, the mom from Growing Pains is in it.
Joanna Kearns.
I had no idea. So right away, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
And it's not King Kong.
Yes.
They specified that on the poster that I saw.
Yes.
Not King Kong.
So they got sued by RKO for calling it like The Return of King Kong or something to that effect. They were racing to beat Dino De Laurentiis' remake of Kong with Jeff Bridges and Faye Dunaway.
Okay.
So they were just trying to beat her to the theater. So this was essentially like a mockbuster. And so they got a little carried away with themselves and called it Return of King Kong and got slapped with a $1.5 million lawsuit.
Oh.
And so they rebranded it Ape, and they had to slap on their posters, like you said, what is it?
Not King Kong.
Not King Kong.
Yes, not King Kong.
I love that.
So everybody knows.
And also, it is an acronym, but they used asterisks to separate the letters because they wanted it to look like MASH.
Like the TV show.
Yes. So MASH, the film by Altman, I think, came out in '70, and then the series was wildly popular in the '70s. So this is '76 when this came out. MASH was top of the heap then. So it's supposed to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to MASH.
I didn't put those two things together. It's filmed in Korea.
Yes, it's a South Korean USA joint production.
Okay, well that makes sense with MASH then too. That's a nice tie-in.
Yes,
okay.
That is a tie-in actually.
All right.
So this was produced by Jack H. Harris, who has made a bunch of really great movies, one of which is Equinox. I can look up some of the other ones. We can talk about those a little bit later. But he made some really good schlocky stuff. He's a fun guy. He produced Schlock, that John Landis movie that's a spoof of old 50s like monster movies.
No, I never saw that.
Okay, it's pretty cute and charming in that John Landis 70s way. So yeah, this has like a below 2 on IMDb. So this is considered pretty bad. For the listener out there, this theater, the Joy Cinema, is an older place. It's 2 screens. One screen. Really small, really charming. They do a thing called Weird Wednesday, where every Wednesday night at 9:15 there's a free psychotronic movie, and they're just hoping that people come in and watch something weird and buy some concessions.
Yeah.
So we're going to head into the theater right now and get some snacks and have a seat. Then we entered the theater, got our tickets, 3D glasses, and snacks. The owner was working, so we got to talk a bit about the weekly free psychotronic movie night, Weird Wednesday.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
This is 8?
Yes.
Good for you.
Two for the show.
Yes. And we need some snacks. Large Diet Coke.
Large diet, okay.
And do you have any hot dogs going?
Yeah, sure.
I would love a hot dog.
Okay, hot dog.
And what size popcorn? I'll get a big popcorn. And a large popcorn.
Large popcorn. Excellent,
And
thank you.
I need an adult beverage.
Okay.
How about are those the three choices?
Yeah, we have these up here too.
Oh, cool. I will do a High Life.
Okay, a High Life.
Yes,
okay.
please.
And anything else for you?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Who picks the Weird Wednesday movies?
Oh, I do.
You do.
Yeah, are you looking out for Weird Wednesday?
I've never actually made it all the way. I live in Happy Valley, so I never make it all the way out here. But I'm going to start trying to.
Yeah, come on. Well, this week it's going to be 8.
But I mean other weeks, right?
Yeah, I pick them usually. Sometimes Ben, who works here, he's picked a couple of them, but yeah.
You get a pretty good turnout for those? For Weird
Oh
Wednesdays?
yeah, Weird Wednesday's a great turnout. And I don't know how it'll be tonight
Yeah.
for Ape. It's kind
Right.
of weird. Thank you guys very much for coming out. But yeah, come out. We do a lot of good stuff coming out that I really want to show. Like this movie, Curse the Crying Woman, this Mexican horror film.
Oh, La Llorona? or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
The new one? Or is
It's
it
not the new one. It's
Oh, okay.
the old one. It's
I knew they'd made a few of those.
yeah. It's a long-time folk tale kind of thing. So. Well, thank you very much. Sam.
Yes.
Just yell at me if I forgot anything.
Yes. And condiments?
Hey, how are you?
Over the table.
Oh. I'm a pretty safe guy most times, but I do have a hot dog from the movie theater every now and again because I like to live a little dangerously. I'm not going to put ketchup on because I'm not a child
There you go.
or a president. Into the Spider-Verse wasn't quite finished yet, so we waited in the lobby for the auditorium to open, looking at their fine collection of cult movie posters and midnight movie books. These folks are really people after my own heart. We talked a bit about our hopes and dreams for Ape. Knowing that this is supposed to be the worst giant ape movie ever made, what are your hopes and expectations going into this film?
Anytime I go to see an ape movie, a monkey movie, it's the suit. It's what does the suit look like? Because you've seen great suits, and then you've seen suits that aren't as good. I'm really looking forward to see what the suit looks like.
You didn't read about it yet, did you?
Not extensively. No. Like I watched the trailer and then I looked up on Wikipedia, just real briefly, just to get an overview. $24,000 and 14 days to shoot. That's what I saw. So those two things alone, I'm like, how could you not get a quality product?
I'm expecting magic. Me personally, knowing that it's a 3D movie and it's cheap and exploitative, I'm hoping for gratuitous 3D shots.
Okay.
So, like in the original House of Wax, there's a guy with a paddle ball going right at the camera. Friday the 13th Part 3, there's a guy doing a yo-yo, and there's just the camera pointing up, the yo-yo coming down. I'm hoping for some of those really just like embarrassingly gratuitous shots.
How did they shoot in 3D back in 1976? How did that work? Was it stereoscope?
Yeah.
You know, I've forgotten the process. It's a 2-camera process, isn't it?
I think so. That's how you get. That's how they get 3D. Even now, it's a 2-camera, not a 2-camera, but a 2-lens process.
Yeah.
I guess no, it's digital. They can do it digitally now, but.
And they can do it in post, but it never seems to work very well, in my opinion.
I don't see 3D movies because I get seasick. So nothing like spending, $20 to go see an IMAX movie and puke halfway through. It's fantastic.
Wow, EGOT. It's got some great posters. Cold flicks and trash bags.
Coffee table reading.
I'm also hoping for some really shoddy models.
You would think so.
For
considering
$24,000.
Yeah, I don't know how else you do it. Yeah, so lots of miniatures, lots of. I would assume that there's going to be a city that gets torn down at
Yes.
some point.
And I'm hoping that it's like they went and bought model train city buildings and stuff. I'm really hoping for that. I want these people to be ashamed of themselves. That is my hope.
So this came out in '76 when the King Kong remake. I never saw the King Kong remake.
I never did either. My understanding is that it tanked, especially considering how expensive it was and hyped it was. They put quite a bit of money into it.
It came out in '76. That's the same year that Star Wars came out, isn't it?
77?
Oh, maybe.
So my understanding is also that there's a little nod to Jaws in this.
There's a nod to Jaws.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see what it is.
Is it like a Sharknado thing?
I think there's a shark fight.
There's a shark fight.
Yeah. You know.
With the giant ape.
Yeah. Maybe it's a giant shark.
Is it underwater? Because that would be fantastic.
Well, that would require scuba gear, which sounds way too expensive.
Giant scuba gear. Yes.
After that, it was into the theater. In the following week, we had a chance to talk about our experience with and our thoughts about Ape in 3D. Not to be confused with King Kong. Enjoy. All right, JB, we're back.
We're back.
So we are back from watching the movie. We watched it last Friday. That was a week ago. I thought I'd give you a week to just kind of let that, steep.
To fully digest what I've seen. Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about initial impressions.
You know what? Initial impressions, I'm not a huge monster movie guy. So right off the bat, I was a little iffy about going to see this movie. It exceeded my expectations. I had a really good time seeing this. A couple of things. I don't usually see movies in 3D, and this was in 3D, and we saw it in 3D, and the monster movie angle as well. But I had a blast. It was great.
I read a bit about it, and I knew it was weird, and it was slipshod and whatever, but it was even weirder and shittier than I thought it would be. That's a compliment. I do have some thoughts about the 3D, which I was surprised by. I love 3D. I love any kind of novelty or gimmick thing that's part of psychotronic stuff, but I thought that this 3D was oddly effective. Is that just me? Like the illusion part?
Yeah, well, I mean, there were some moments when they were obviously trying for the 3D effect.
Yes. But
when they weren't trying for it, it seemed kind of natural.
So I kept thinking about this Viewmaster. You remember those?
Yeah.
That my grandparents had. That was probably my dad's. I don't know, whatever. But it had like this Land Before Time, like some Ray Harryhausen dinosaur stop motion type of things on in it, and it was like effectively 3D, like two images offset, and I kept thinking about that because it was cool, like when they weren't going all out with the 3D and throwing stuff at the camera.
Yeah,
it was oddly effective in that just setting up distance, like just creating an illusion of depth in the frame without being like showy about it. That I thought was weird because I've seen like Leica movies that are in 3D that don't do it as well. I mean, I don't think it was intentional, but like just like the way they would layer, like there'd be like a bit of a branch like in the very leftmost part of the frame, and then the characters talking, and then the back down there'd be like wall, whatever, a window, and it actually felt like there was 3 layers of depth. Like I was just surprised. I guess I don't want to gush about this, but it looked better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I completely agree. In fact, there were a couple of scenes. They spend a lot of time in offices, and there were a couple of scenes where they had between the desk and the wall and the filing cabinet, and there was a flag behind the desk, and all those things. Like you said, there was depth, apparent depth between everything.
Yeah.
It was just kind of natural. It was like they didn't. Like you said, I don't know if they planned for that, but it just turned out very well.
And I really think that 3D would be better used for stuff like that instead of the money shot stuff. Like, I feel more immersed in it. I remember, thinking like when there was we'll do a real quick synopsis of the plot in case people haven't seen it in a minute. But there was a scene when like Joanna Kern's character, the Fay Ray of this, arrives in South Korea for this film she's doing. She's doing a quick press conference when she gets off the plane, and even that had like stacks of depth. Like there was no call for a real quick, just establishing I'm in Korea, I'm a famous American actress scene to have like 3D in it, but it actually looked 3D. I was just like there was a couple reporters flanked on either side of her in the near part of the camera, and it actually felt like they were flanking her. It was weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so do the people a solid, because they may not have seen this. We saw it in 3D, true 3D in the theater at the Joy, and then something we both watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk about the difference there in your experience of that film, but just give someone like a quick elevator, like what can they expect if they haven't seen it, or so they can keep up at home.
A quick elevator pitch. Captive giant monkey gets loose from a Freightliner and wreaks havoc across all of South Korea.
Normally I would say that was glib and maliciously brief, but that's actually all it is.
Well, that's it. There's not a lot of I don't know, that it's unclear even what what the ape is trying to get to. I don't know what the ape's motivation is, except to not be where he's at and to go someplace else.
Freedom.
Maybe they talk about freedom. It's mentioned, but I don't know. The ape doesn't do a very good job of portraying that to me. He's just wandering through South Korea.
Yeah, and there's 3 distinct stories that come together and intertwine because they are destined to. The Joanna Kern story is there's a guy that looks like Jesse Eisenberg and Bill Walton put together, and he's a reporter. He's an American reporter in Seoul. And then Joanna Kearns, who you might know as the mom from Growing Pains, Mrs. Seaver, whatever the hell her first name was. She is the young ingenue who is there for this film. And so there's a love story there. They've hooked up before. They're in love, but she didn't want to get too heavy. There's a subplot about that. And there's a third like strand, which is the he's not a general. What is he? Davis.
Colonel Davis.
So there's an American, we have American bases in South Korea since, the Korean War. So he's there dealing with the ape crisis. And so you see these 3 parallel stories going on, and then they all kind of converge more or less. And it created the illusion of the story being more nuanced and complex than it really was.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was odd to me was that, so I think we mentioned this a bit at the theater, was that this was an attempt to beat Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong remake with Jeff Bridges and Faye Dunaway, I believe, to the theaters, which is a common, we see it all the time now, right? That's why in 1997 there were 3, volcano movies, and there'd be, Dante's Peak and this, and then 2000 there's Armageddon and Deep Impact and whatever. Like that, studios try and beat each other out of ticket sales, essentially. But this was more craven, in my opinion, and just this was more of a, what is that, mockbuster? Like I was saying to you in the recording, was like, this is where you're literally hoping somebody makes a mistake and gives you money on accident, right? I mean, does that sound cynical to say that?
Well, it does sound cynical, but I think that's accurate with this, especially with the number of references to King Kong that are made in the movie, because there's several sprinkled around.
Yes, and as we mentioned before in the earlier audio, they were calling this Return of King Kong or something until they got sued for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Right. So they weren't. This isn't like oh my God, you guys are making a King Kong type movie, so were we.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. So there's another layer here. I don't want to derail you if you have something to say, but there's There's also a layer of humor going on that was supposed to be this kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing that the director of this film, Paul Leder,
Yes.
he played a director in the film that is directing the movie that Joanna Kern's character is in. And his name is Dino. So that can't be a coincidence, right?
Well, I wouldn't think so, especially because they used his name a lot.
Yeah.
It was definitely Dino. Yes, they really made a point to drive that home.
So talk to me a bit about the way you felt about this, seeing it in the theaters in 3D, and seeing it again on YouTube in 2D. I have thoughts.
You know what? This happens sometimes with older videos that you watch at home on your HD flat screen television. It's really artifacty. It's a YouTube video, and clearly it's not in high definition by any stretch.
Right.
So it's pretty pixelated when you get it onto a screen of any size. It was a lot more fun to watch in the theater, I thought. I was glad I had seen it in the theater, certainly, because it was like, oh, I remember this part being better.
Yeah.
And at least you have that to look back on.
Yeah, I mean, it was night and day to me. I kept like checking my phone and like, maintaining a text conversation with my wife during parts, like, oh shit, I gotta back up. I remember I need to see this part again. Like, it was not nearly as engaging as 3D, which was a hoot.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a blast with it. There's some wonderful bad acting in it, particularly from the sailors. I love that some of this is like beat for beat King Kong stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Any King Kong type movie has this. This movie opens with two sailors on a freighter that is transporting the ape, apparently in the body, in the hold. What do you call
in the bowels of the ship, the cargo hold? Sure. Yeah.
So there's a couple sailors, and they meet up top to look at the sea and have a smoke and talk a bit about the monkey ape. Damn it. Let's listen to them talk, because this is a bit of a long clip. I'm going to warn everybody, but this is hilarious because this acting is bananas. No pun intended.
Good evening, Jim. All quiet below?
Yes, sir. The big boy is sleeping like a kitten.
Mm-hmm. And smoke?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Were you there on the island when they caught him?
Yeah, sure was. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. He's something to see, I tell you.
I know. Imagine. Almost 36 feet tall. Wow.
It's almost a shame to put a beast into captivity and then put him on display for everybody to gawk at.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Where's the first stop?
Disneyland.
You gotta be bullshitting me.
No, it's true.
I sure hope the gas that put him out lasts that long.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. They say he should be out for, another 5 days or so.
Oh, shit.
I could not ask for a better opening scene, honestly.
There's a lot to unpack in that scene. There is. First of all, can I just start with the two guys? One of them seems to me is not a native English speaker, but they're trying to play him as a native English speaker. I couldn't quite figure that out.
I think you're correct.
It's a freighter crew, so it's going to be mixed nationality. Seems like it would be de rigueur. That seems to be a thing that would happen. But yeah, I didn't quite understand. It just seemed really awkwardly worded, I guess. I couldn't tell if it was a scripting thing or if it was I suppose it would have to be the script. It didn't seem like there was a lot of ad-libbing going on in this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if this was a South Korean actor that they brought in and then kind of dressed him up to not look as Asian, I think, maybe. I don't know.
I can't tell you, but that was a thing of beauty. The other thing, when we saw this in the theater, this is the first scene, and I remember marveling at the fact that the 3D was so good that their noses were in 3D. Because it's a really unflattering shot when they're cutting back and forth between these two guys of these noses actually having depth. It was really weird look. Did you notice that? I was like, oh my God.
I did.
Like, this is like ugly.
I didn't notice the 3D, but what I will say is that the close-up shot, the head shot that they're using is really close.
Yeah, that's what. Yes. So it felt like the nose was like you had to lean back to get out of its way. It was crazy.
Yeah, and then one guy has a beard, and the beard seemed kind of I don't know, intimidating, big, full, aggressive in a manner that I wasn't used to.
So that is the sound you hear at the end. There is APE, APE, which stands for.
It stands for Attacking Predator Monster. And yes, the E in monster is it's near the end. You've got to want the E for the acronym to work.
But they bought that vowel, and they're going to use the hell out of it.
Like you do. Well, the name came up after the lawsuit that you were talking about. So once the lawsuit came up, they had to scrap that idea, and we need a new name. What should we use? Let's do this thing. And there you go.
So the sound at the end of the exploding hold, whatever that was, the hatch, batten down the hatches, right? The hatch, is the ape in question breaking free. So the gas didn't hold him. And he goes on a rampage. I think he destroys a freighter, which isn't really shown, but you see him standing in the ocean. So he's 36 feet tall, but apparently he's standing in the ocean.
Sure.
And he's wrestling a shark. And so this is that Jaws stuff I was talking about, where they were just trying to kind of nudge, wink, wink, Jaws. Or in that copy we were talking about before the show, they said, see him wrestle a giant.
Defy the jaws of giant shark.
Defy the jaws of giant shark, right?
Yeah.
So very subtle. But what was your impression the first time you saw him?
The first time I saw the ape?
Yes.
Well, they kind of ease you into it gradually, because the scene is night, and so they're in the water, and it's lit, but it's not daylight. So there's shadows, and it's lit, and this is probably just something that I do, but when you see the ape for the first time in the water, it's immediately after the freighter blows up. So I'm assuming the ape hasn't gone far from where the freighter is. And like you said, the ape's 36 feet tall, nearly, but he's standing up in about waist deep water. So apparently that freighter was sailing in about 12 feet of water.
Yeah.
Which didn't seem right to me. And then when you see the fin from the shark that's coming, apparently that shark also is swimming in about a bathtub full of water. So I was really taken out of the movie at that point, wondering what is happening, which is the wrong way to be. You have to just put that aside. And I was able to put it aside once they got into the shark on ape violence that was about to go down.
So that was a hell of a fight, but was there not some math involved there where I was thinking, so he's 6 stories tall, right? No, he's 6 stories tall.
Well, 36.
Sorry. No, he's 3.5, whatever.
Yeah.
So how big is a shark? Because the shark, isn't he by virtue of proportion like 50 feet long then?
Well, I mean, I think at one point he's actually cradling the shark in his arms, and the shark isn't as big as he is.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think the shark was that big. I don't know how big Jaws was, because that's clearly the reference they're trying to make.
Right. He's a great white, but he's not like a ginormous white. Anyway, the shark is clearly a real shark, and it's clearly dead. So it looks like they just bought a shark from a fishing boat and just wrestled it in an ape suit and then tore its jaw off. Like at the end of the fight, they're just tearing it apart. It's just a dead shark. Never hurt anybody.
Yeah. It's. I was actually reading a review, and somebody wrote down there what may have happened in the filming, and he said the guy in the monkey suit probably said, "You're gonna make this look good in post, right?" And the director said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna look great. Don't worry about it. Go splash around. You're fine. You're fine."
So we don't need to be, sticking to any kind of narrative or sequential kind of thing here, so we can jump around. The ape, let's just talk about the actor that played the ape. So the suit itself is a travesty. It is something that you would wear in a vaudeville bit or to like a birthday party, like as a part of a costume. I mean, it's a piece of shit. And
it's really bad.
The fur looks like almost like an afro wig or something. It looks bizarre.
Yeah.
Second of all, you can see they didn't even like tuck in the mask, the bottom of the mask into the neck of the suit. So there's just a free hanging, you know what I'm talking about? Like the neck ruffle of just like the neck's just free floating around above the suit, around that whole seam. They didn't even try.
No, and they clearly, I think this movie was shot in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's no time to try. There's no time for effort. And also with the budget they had no one to pay attention to these sorts of things. So yeah, the suit was terrible. In fact, the one thing about the suit that kind of freaked me out, because I agree with everything that you said, but the one thing that got me is there were some tremendous ape nipples on display the entire movie. And it really, again, that really sucked me right out of where I wanted to be as far as watching this movie.
Yeah. I think the designer had an ape nipple thing, because that was... I don't think your nipples are supposed to be 20% of your torso surface area, but those were.
I mean, mine aren't when I look at myself in the mirror. That's not how mine look, so I don't know.
Come on. You don't represent the average person.
Well, or the average ape either. So who am I to say?
Right. So just, going back to the general performance of this guy, this is probably most known by people for an animated GIF of it. You've probably seen it, and a guy in a terrible ape suit flipping the camera off. That happens in this movie.
And I'll be honest with you. I had seen that GIF before, but I hadn't put it together with this movie. And when it came on screen, I couldn't stop laughing. That was the funniest, because you can see it happening. It dawns on you kind of, oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's gonna do that thing. And sure enough, up comes the hand and up comes the middle finger. Nice. And there's ape flipping off the camera.
Okay, so the ape is a big part of the we don't care for me in this. Okay, so obviously the fun got away from them, or the director gave up. We don't know what happened, but at some point they decided, you know what, that's going in the movie, which clearly should not have been in any type of movie, right? I feel like, and I've seen some other people say that they have this impression, I feel like this was maybe started as a real project that was supposed to be a competition for the King Kong remake, and it became apparent once they looked at some dailies or something that this was not good, and they just gave up. Do you get that vibe at all? Like,
oh man, you know what? I could see how that could happen. It seems kind of weird to me, because, like I said, I think the shoot was 2 weeks long, so you would have to decide, on Monday when you're getting started, looking at film, going, yeah, it's not going to work. That seems quick. I mean, you're giving up fast.
Well, okay, so when the ape is doing something and it's just a solo shot of him, camera tilted up at him, they do that thing where they slow it down to like 80%, which is, to make it look like he's so big he lumbers. And I swear, like, half the time you see him in a solo shot, he's dancing or just doing some weird...
Capering?
Yes. So I watched it the second time last night. I was like, okay, I know what it looks. I know how I'm going to say. I'm going to describe this. It looks like they filmed walkthroughs, where it's like da 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 da. You hit your mark, wave your arms. There's helicopters coming. Okay, then you swing down. Okay, good. Cut. I'm like, oh shit, we ran out of film. You know what? We're using that take. The whole thing felt like that. All the ape shots.
Yeah.
At one point, he's fucking dancing. Am I wrong, or was he literally dancing?
No, that's a for real thing. When you say it, when you say that out loud, that makes perfect sense to me, because the only way it makes sense for that ape to be dancing is if that's filming a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Guy in the ape suit's getting kind of bored. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, look at me. I'm an ape. I'm going to dance while they fix whatever it is they're fixing over there that's not important for the shot. And yeah, like you said, oh, we're out of film. Oh, we're going to cut that part right in here. And that's going to make perfect sense with the music we're playing. This is going to be great.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the humans, though.
Okay.
I don't know if you have feelings about Joanna Kearns, but I always have.
Really?
I don't care for her. She's always bugged the fuck out of me. And this, like, elevated her to, like, Zoe Deschanel, like, level of loathing. Like,
Ooh.
I really, like, she bugged the shit out of me in this. She looks like Amy Schumer when she was young, somehow.
Oh, she does a little bit. That's right.
But she was super annoying, I thought. And because, does the King Kong trope of the ape sees her, falls in love, grabs her, and she shrieks. And I meant to make clips of the shrieking and line them all up and see if they're just repeated or not. I think it's just 3 shrieks over and over again. But it was the most piercing, awful. It made me angry. Did you know how awful her screaming was? It was just
I kind of tuned that out, I guess. I didn't really notice it. What I will say is when I was watching it today, it was when she is shrieking, it is loud and long, and it would make sense to me that there's only about 3 of them, and they just keep rolling them over and over again. It did bother me. I don't think this is an actor's choice, but it did also bother me that there was lots of times where she ran into the ape and was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a 36-foot tall ape. I had no idea you were here.
So,
how did you not know the ape was there? But again, I don't know if that's her fault.
Yeah. Well, I blame her for everything. But I have a clip here, and I want to play it just because it has some of her screaming in the beginning. This is the first time she's abducted. She's abducted twice. So the ape sees her on a movie set doing a scene and grabs her and runs off, and she escapes. And then her reporter boyfriend sends her to a Korean military man's family's house in Seoul to keep her safe. And the ape somehow tracks her down by scent or something and finds her there. And then that's the big finale, right? You're right. There is no fucking story here. But the first time he grabs her, we get to hear some screams here. And then there's a weird comment at the end of this clip that she makes. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's been bugging me. But here's her in the hands of the giant ape the first time.
My God, what's happening? Be gentle, big fella.
Okay. That shrieking, that's like you're on the bus home from work after working 10 hours and somebody is holding a baby that's doing that's the type of shrieking where you're just like, fucking kill me. Where it's just like a baby crying like that the entire flight, right, on an airplane. It was like that level of just like my eardrums are actually starting to bleed. Awfulness. So I that really bugged me. But then the thing she said at the end before he started making horny Wookiee sounds. Did you hear what she said?
Be gentle, big fella.
Be gentle, big fella.
Yeah.
And she kind of had like a coy, sexually aroused, like she was just like snuggling up into his finger and like.
It was strange. It wasn't really comfortable for me.
No.
She is coming up right off. The scene she was shooting was getting away from a rapist, a person that had raped her, was going to rape her in the movie that she's filming. So maybe she's staying in character for that, I guess.
Yeah, because the director told her co-star rape her gentle. At one point, which was weird thing to hear.
Which was, again, that's not a thing that you hear a lot of, really. The screaming, you know what? I hadn't noticed the screaming until you made a point to bring it up. But yeah, now that's all I hear. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, well done.
Can I share one of my pet peeves with you?
Yeah.
So I make video stuff. I'm really interested in movies, so I know how behind the scenes technical things work, and I'm sure you do as well. I hate when movies completely jettison all like reality and process of doing things and just let me reframe that. if people are as dumb as they're being treated in movies about how things work, we are stupid as fuck and we need to just fucking die. Okay? So, like, it's like that same thing where it's like you talk to someone like, oh, I'm in video production, blah, blah, and then they're like, well, how long is it going to take to make this 30-second video? I don't know, like 2 or 3 days. It's 30 seconds. Uh-huh. Yeah, we got to write something. We have to find a location. We have to shoot it. Then we have to edit it, and then we have to color correct it and master all the audio. It's 30 seconds, though. I could do a 30-second commercial. Like, people are, like, I've encountered people like that, and I always assume they were the outliers, but maybe they're not. But the thing in this movie that drives me fucking nuts, and you see this all the time when there's movies being shot inside of movies. She's in, like, a palace, like a Korean palace, and it's the second day of rape scene shooting, which what the fuck is this guy's obsession with fucking rape movies? But she's, like, you know, starts doing that same exact goddamn ear-splitting shriek. She runs away from the actor. Like, he goes, action. And then she goes, ah! And then she starts running, and it's like a palace, like 50 yards at a stretch going down one wall, and then go down a flight of steps, and 50 yards. It's a fucking castle.
Yeah.
So this is all one take. But movies don't
just...
have multiple cameras. They don't have hidden cameras. They don't have 17 cameras you're cutting from, like on live TV, like The Survivor or some shit. You do one camera. You do a shot where she screams and runs, and then you'll cut. Maybe you do it again. Then you say, print, we're moving on. Then you go set up to when she's running down the 50-yard thing outside. You get that shot from a crane. Maybe 3 or 4 of those, couple for safety. Cut. This is hours later. Then you go down, get the shot of her running down the stairs towards the camera. That's another shot. It drives me fucking nuts when people pretend like it's all one fucking thing happening live. I don't know why it drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. In fact, it was so weird for me because watching this, like you said, she winds up way away from where she started. In fact, so far that the director Dino says she's out of the shot now.
Yeah,
you need to come back. And also, we have to shoot it again because there's something in the background, which little teaser. It's the ape. The ape is coming to get her. But anyway, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It makes no sense. And in the movie, they only show the one camera. So it's not even that they're trying to insinuate that there are more cameras to this scene. There's just the one. And the minute she turns the corner and she moves onto, I think it's a bridge, she's out of the frame. There's no way that camera is getting her as she's running down the steps and then around a thing. And yeah, I completely agree.
Okay, so I had an issue with that. I'm going to talk about the negatives a little bit.
Okay.
While we muck through this and talk about the stuff I liked. So Colonel Davis. Another like pet peeve. This dude and his little, whatever his assistant was, almost every scene they're in except for I think one, maybe two, are in his office. And it's supposed to be taking place over like a day or whatever, day and a half. And it's very clearly they just, I don't know why this bugs me. They just shot it all in one day. Like he just would roll his sleeves up and loosen his tie, and then that's okay. This is scene 73. And then okay, so whatever. That's efficient. I get that. That's how you make movies. I totally understand that, but like it felt cheap. Like they didn't try to make it look different between shots. Like it just felt like it was just you could have just done it in one take and just chopped it up. And then that coupled with the fact that the majority of his acting or those scenes was him talking to someone on the phone. So doing that stage thing where it's like, what's that? You say he got us out of prison? You say he's coming our way? You say blah, blah, blah? Blah, blah, blah. Like, just feed me shit. Just feed me exposition. It just drove me nuts.
There is only one person that I've ever seen make that work, and that's Bob Newhart. That's it.
Oh, God.
Nobody else makes the one-sided phone call thing work. The other thing about the scenes with Colonel Davis and Lieutenant Smith, or whatever his name is, Colonel Davis, I swear to you, he's doing a John Wayne impression. It sounds just like the Duke. Well, no, it doesn't. It sounds like just like somebody trying to be the Duke.
I have some clips of him. Anything in particular you think would be a good...
Really, the very first scene that he's in is where I think it's the most pronounced. Yeah, let's listen.
Here we go.
Now, what kind of bullshit you trying to hand me? Yeah, a footprint 5 or 6 feet long. Look, Captain, this is Korea, not Scotland. The Loch Ness Monster couldn't make it over the Berlin Wall. Wait a minute. What do you want?
I need you to sign these, sir.
Not now. Can't you see I'm busy? Yeah. No, wait. What was it you were saying? Now, you listen to me, Captain. You're not telling me what to do. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you what. If you'll knock it off for a minute and listen, I'll tell you. That's better.
So he's just an exposition dispenser.
Yeah.
We're getting reports of this giant beast. Can't be real. Okay, there is a giant beast. It's real. Okay, we're gonna take care of it. Okay, we can't take care of it. Okay, we gotta bring it in alive. Can't bring it in alive. Bring it in dead. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He talks on the phone to people to tell us all those things.
I think it's not until the very end of the movie where he gets out of that office, right?
Yeah, the very end when they're slaughtering this poor primate.
Yeah.
But the Colonel does have some of the funniest lines, and I don't know. I think they're intentional, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. They're intended to be funny.
Like here's him at like a press conference talking about the threat of the ape.
Captain Kim is speaking for the Korean police, and I'm speaking for the American Armed Forces. But we're in complete agreement about this. It's not a monster we're dealing with. It's more like an overgrown ape.
I felt like he was like the Lloyd Bridges character that should say, like, I picked the wrong day to stop stuffing glue.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. Like, I feel like that guy. The disaster movie, like, dude.
It does have that feel to it. Yeah.
I don't know. So, can we talk a bit about 3D porn?
Please do.
So, one of the things I love about 3D movies in the old days was that they had to take advantage of the tech and do some stuff for the audience's sake. I made a list, and I want to see how many of those you got. What things are flung at the camera for our benefit?
Okay, well, there is a scene where there is. Are you talking about flung or just objects? Because there's a scene where there's a movie shoot.
Camera as a feature shot.
As part of the ape rampaging across South Korea, he rampages across a movie set. The movie's being filmed outdoors, and it's a martial arts film. And during the scene inside the movie they're shooting, there are spears that they kind of thrust at the camera a lot. They spend a lot of time thrusting the spear at the camera, which is clearly intended to jump out at you.
Yes.
Later on, when the ape shows up, these actors also pick up their bows and arrows, which are part of the scene, and use the bow and arrows to shoot flaming arrows at the ape.
Yes.
And then there's arrows flying at the camera. There is a scene, an indoor scene where they're playing pool, and there's a pool cue that comes flying at the camera.
Yes.
Which is kind of weird.
That's the weirdest.
There is towards the end, there's and I'm not sure if it's the same soldier over and over again, but there's one guy with a rifle running up to the camera and shooting at the camera. It's not really a 3D effect scene because I don't know the bullets. You obviously can't see the bullets jumping out at you. But then I think probably the one that bothered me the most was the one at the end where the ape is throwing boulders directly at the camera.
I loved it.
But it happened over and over again.
Yeah, it was the exact same shot like 4 or 5 times. Okay.
I felt like I was in a Buck Rogers. I felt like watching Buck Rogers where they had the same space battle scene.
Yes.
That you saw all throughout the season. It's the same space battle scene. That's what was happening on the screen.
But it was an awesome space battle scene. So yeah, the rifle barrels, like you're saying, they're not firing, but they're definitely taking advantage of the they would run towards the camera, then get down on one knee and aim and fire, and then just kind of just moving the barrel around the camera to make you kind of be like, don't poke me in the eye with that thing. Okay, so you got some good ones. Can I tell you in order what they are?
Yeah.
Okay, so we get oil barrels thrown at us.
Oh, okay.
A 4x4 stud flies through a Jeep windshield.
I forgot about that one. Yes.
The ape fights with no origin or explanation, a giant snake and throws it at the camera. It actually hits the camera and the camera starts to fall over. In that same Kung Fu movie, it starts with shears. There's also an axe and a roundhouse kick, in addition to the spears and flaming arrows you mentioned. When they do see him and they start shooting the flaming arrows, they also get a battering ram and run towards the camera with a battering ram.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. Yes.
When he starts raging in the outskirts of Seoul, he picks up a telephone pole and throws that at the camera. You mentioned the pool cue, right? The rifle barrels you mentioned, missiles from the tanks. This is the climax when they're murdering the guy, and then the boulders. Right. Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
That's pretty good. So that snake. Why is there a big snake in Seoul?
I'm not sure, but again, judging by how big we know the ape to be, that snake's probably, I don't know, 40 feet long.
Yeah. Are there
it's
snakes
a big snake.
I guess there are.
Like maybe
anacondas or something.
But I don't know. I've never seen one that long in real life, and also it's pretty thick. So I don't know. That seemed unrealistic. It also was not set up at all. It's just he's walking around. Oh no, a snake! Whatever shall I do?
Yeah.
And then snake fight, and then he throws. I guess, like you said, he ends up with him throwing it at the camera, and that's the end. You don't see any more of the snake.
What were some other novels? Oh, the hang glider. There's some just like funny there's some guys hang gliding for some reason, and they hang glide towards him, and he's amused by that, so he grabs. Does he grab the hang glider?
Well, I don't know if he grabs him, but he definitely puts his hand underneath him, and the guy clearly is not hang gliding like you're supposed to be, because he's sitting vertically in the hang glider, which you don't do if you're gliding, and he's jumping off of the ape's hand, which is very strange. The ape loves it. It's the best thing ever for the ape. He's very entranced. He laughs. I think he dances a little bit.
He does some dancing. It's a weird rave dance.
It is it's a different sort of thing. He was tickled by the hang glider. The hang glider, I don't think he was. That guy was very enthused. He seemed like he wanted to get away badly.
Yeah. So there was only one part that I noted in this whole film where the ape actor moved like a gorilla, like that you've seen on PBS or in the zoo. And it was at the very end when he's kind of on the top, before he starts throwing the boulders. And he's kind of got his shoulders kind of slumped, and he's like head forward, and he's kind of like not prancing, but stomping around, and his like shoulder forward, like aggressive kind of thing where he's, looking at things. I was like, damn, that was like for 3 seconds you actually acted. And it made me it evoked an ape. And the rest of the time you were disco dancing and clapping and flipping the camera off. He also had the worst chest beating I've ever seen in anything ever.
Yeah, it really is like he'd never seen that trope before, and he wasn't familiar with it. And then somebody told him that this was what he was going to do, and he didn't quite understand it, but he gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's really? They just hit the chest. He does it with like one hand, kinda, and the other one kind of like waves in the air. It's very strange.
He might have had emphysema or something. He just seemed like he was very low energy. He's very low energy ape. Another thing that I noted here in my notes was that so there's like 2 scenes where Joanna Kearns and the Bill Walton guy are making out, and although the audio is not great in this, they mic the shit out of their mouths, because you get some really intimate kissing mouth saliva sounds, which was making me fucking ill. And I thought to myself, I would rather give myself a vasectomy with a broken Coke bottle than watch these 2 make out again. Because that was.
Do you have audio of that? You didn't clip that.
I couldn't do it.
Okay, good.
Honestly.
Good. I don't understand why that was happening. Is that the same scene when you heard it happening? Was it the same scene where you can hear the director yell "cut"?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
So maybe
I might have a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I have a little bit of Dino. I have a thing about Raper Gentle. Let me play that.
Cut. You gotta take it easy, Greg. I mean, you gotta be gentle.
Gentle? This is a goddamn rape scene, and you want me to be gentle, Dino?
We gotta talk. Look, everybody take 10.
So you won't go back to Seoul?
Not until tonight. See you then.
Take care.
Okay, now remember, Greg, rape her gently.
I trimmed it out, but you did hear one kiss. But
It was a little smoochy, yeah, a little smoochy there.
in the middle, it was just a full-on makeout session. It's like listening to your parents pork. But okay, I'm not upset about it, and I'm just gonna move on because
Okay.
there's stuff I liked about this. One thing at the end of the opening credits, there was a big title on the screen that stayed on there for about 10 seconds that said, the producers wish to thank the United States Army for their cooperation, but that typical thing.
Yeah.
And you can see at the end why. They got some footage of a couple helicopters and a couple tanks, and they used the hell out of that. There was not a wasted frame.
You know what, that whole sequence was amazing because it's I guess, and it would probably happen this way. I suppose there were probably some maneuvers being run, some Army maneuvers being run. One of the scenes they have, there's about a dozen of the old Huey helicopters landing and performing troop boarding. So the helicopters are all coming in a line. They all land. Troops all get onto the helicopters and they all take off and go. And clearly, this movie does not have the budget for something like that to happen by itself.
Right.
So they were off somewhere where it was already happening. Are you going to talk about the tanks and the tracked vehicles?
You do.
Okay. There's shortly after that, there's another scene where there are lots of tracked vehicles, lots of very military looking equipment. They're not tanks, I don't think, and they're not quite armored personnel carriers. I'm not sure what they are exactly, but they're obviously military. And as they're going through the same ditch with water and past the same dirt road, there's a few scenes where you can see the people in the tank, the soldiers, turning to the camera, seeing the camera, waving at the camera, which was just the best thing. Because, like you said, you see, at the very beginning of the movie, there's that sign that says, "Thank you very much for the U.S. Army to help with this production." And I couldn't figure out why, because at the beginning of the movie, the Army people aren't using Army equipment, but then clearly they are at the end, and then it's all, oh, well, this is what happened. Yeah. So it finally made sense.
Yes, it did. And when they're not the actual tanks, they are really poor models. I'm sorry, models is actually too strong. They're toys. Am I wrong? Are those fucking toys?
No, that is. They figured they did because they used a toy freighter at the very beginning of the movie, and they blew that up with M80s. And I know this because I've done this before in real life. That's how they got the shot of the freighter that was carrying the ape blowing up. It's a toy with a firecracker inside, and they did the same thing at the end when they're shooting rockets at the ape. It was the same thing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I have one other thing I want to mention about that. Oh, there's also some recycling of shots. There was one of like the Hueys flying overhead is used, I think, 3 times, same exact shot. Which, whatever. Can't begrudge them a little bit of frugality. I get it.
Yeah.
But I did notice it, so that's their bad. Is there anything else that we missed that you want to talk about before we move on to some judgment?
There was one part of this movie that and I don't know if this is a thing in all kind of creature movies. This ape seemed like it snuck up on way too many people for an ape of its size.
Yeah.
I think the first scene in Daylight, there's a farmer that you see who's riding behind a 2-wheel tractor on a cart, doing his farmer things. And then suddenly it's the middle of an open field, and suddenly he looks up and, oh my goodness, there's an ape there. And he yells, and it causes great panic and people running. Later on in an amusement park, there's children there, and the children are all playing in the amusement park. And suddenly one of them just happens to look over, and there's the ape, who's way too close.
Yeah.
That ape is very close. And then, I don't know what's going on with is that a thing that happens in other creature movies?
Yeah, but not like as egregiously, because most monsters aren't 36 feet tall.
It seems like it'd be a tough task to sneak at that size.
Can we talk for a real brief moment about that amusement park? It's called Familyland, and it's written in a Disneyland type script. Was that the most depressing? That was like a German expressionist amusement park.
Yeah.
It's like concrete and like it just.
Well, and the way they get into it too, it's not open. It's not open. The children, they show a group of children running towards the gates, and the gates are locked. And the children don't mind this at all. They send one of their children members up over the wall, and he lands on the other side and unlocks the gate. And then they're all into, what was the name of this?
Familyland?
Familyland? Yeah, and then game on, Familyland. So you would think that the children would be unaccompanied. But no, later there's an adult figure, I assume a teacher, some kind of a caregiver, who is there telling them what to do. So apparently that person was fine with them breaking into this amusement park, I guess. Yeah.
So I think there's some type of allegory or symbolism about South and North Korea, but I can't figure it out yet. But I think that's what that's all about.
Oh, that I hadn't thought about it. It would make sense.
I'm kidding.
But it could be. I can see where you're going. Okay. One of the things that did bother me about that amusement park was the music that they chose to play over top of it never changed from the beginning when they're climbing over the gate until the end when they're running away from the ape. It was all the same, and it wasn't urgent. There was nothing urgent about the music.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It was.
No, it does. The music was actually pretty irritating. The what I call the ape love theme, which was just playing whenever Joanna Kerns and that guy were doing anything, is, I believe, 4 notes. It was just this like cloying, like na, 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 na,
yeah. Oh yeah, you hit it
over and over again. No variation. Those 4 notes drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do final thoughts.
Okay.
Or we can do actually final judgment. Sorry. Is this cool or is this trash?
You know what? If you get a chance to see it in the theater, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to say it's cool.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I was looking at this on IMDb, and in related news on the right-hand side, Ape 3D came to home video in true 3D a year ago. So you can see this at home on your big screen TV in 3D. Does that I would
endorse that. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Cool. So I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but I had like a night and day experience with this. Seeing this with you in the theaters and in 3D on a big screen was an absolute blast, and seeing it on YouTube in 2D was underwhelming to say the least. So I'm going to give it a split vote. We can't do that. No. I'm going to call it cool, but my cool is based on my experience of seeing it in a theater in 3D, not based on YouTube. Those are two
not
different.
Based on.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
So, okay. And the fact that you can get this in Blu-ray or whatever it is in 3D, highly recommend it. Get a pizza, get a couple friends, get a 6-pack of beer. You're going to have a blast.
You know what? This is a tough one to watch alone. You really should do it in company.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was fun to have a chance to hang out with you and watch it and laugh, because we were laughing quite a bit through it. It was
good. It was fun.
It was a pretty shockingly funny movie. I don't know if it was all intentional. I don't think much of it was. So we got 2 cools then, right?
Yeah.
Mine's cool with an asterisk, though. Based on the 3D experience.
I would agree with that. The reason that I said cool was because I saw it with you in the theater, and like you said, the YouTube version is not great.
No.
It's
And it's not the quality or the the compression or whatever. It's stripped down to 2D, and on your TV it's just not the same. But if you throw that 3D back in and it's remastered, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
And so there's no need for an antidote. I haven't had to do an antidote on the show in quite a while. There's been no trashes.
Well done.
I don't care for that. I want more trash.
You're picking the wrong movies.
Yeah, I guess I am. Speaking of, it's a good segue. Thank you. So we're currently booking the last run of the show. I've blocked it out. I've got movies selected, some guests selected. I know when the show's going to end. So I mentioned on a previous episode, if you wanted to come on the show and thought maybe I'd be a good guest, I never did. there's only a couple spots left, so there's still time, but it's almost gone. And most of the movies are booked. I have 2 slots left where I don't know what I'm doing. And JB, I did want to mention one of the final episodes of the show is in November. And if I can find a Thanksgiving horror movie, would you guys end your streak and do one of the final episodes with me for Thanksgiving?
I would be happy to, and I would imagine that that TK would also enjoy it.
Nice. Okay. So we've done most of the ones that are watchable. So I feel like, by watchable, I mean like not campy and self-aware and ironic.
Mm-hmm.
So like, like Thanksgiving, like what Killer Turkey, like the modern like tongue-in-cheek, haha, isn't this clever? I don't do that on the show. So if I can find something that's horror movie, that's Thanksgiving based, that is not self-aware and ironic, I would love to do that with you guys, because those are some of my favorite ones. They're also very popular episodes. You guys must bring a lot of listeners.
Oh, I wouldn't think that would be the case, but sure, I'll take it.
Well,
I like it.
There's a spike. People like you.
Atta babe, nicely done.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's happening. Next up on the docket, we'll be talking to Devin Bruce and Andrew Shaw. They've been on the show before, different episodes. And we're going to be talking about Chester N. Turner's Tales of the Quaded Zone. And he was an African-American self-everything filmmaker in the mid-'80s. He shot on video. He wrote, directed, produced, I think he even did the Casio keyboard score. It's all labor of love, and it's all very weird. He's probably most famous for Black Devil Doll from Hell. You've probably seen a GIF of this. It's kind of a famous GIF, like the ape flipping the camera off kind of thing here. It's very, very rough and filled with love, his films. So this will be it's called the Quaded Zone because it's an anthology. So there's 4 short stories with a wraparound narrative.
Nice.
So that'll be next. And I'm really excited because I've always wanted to see one of his movies and I never have. And I guess his family or whoever, he's been dead for quite a while, but has been pulling those down off of YouTube whenever someone posts his films. And Tales of the Quaded Zone has been up there for a while, so I think maybe they gave up or stopped caring or something. But to our benefit, it is available on YouTube. So folks, watch that one and get ready to listen to us talk about it. It's going to be a blast. So that's up next. And tell me what's going on with the Broken Plane.
You know what? The Broken Plane is a National Football League podcast. Obviously the National Football League is in the off season right now. We've got the draft coming up, so we'll be kind of pushing towards that. And then be honest with you, we're kind of screwing around. We put out a show every week, but there's not a lot of content, so we're kind of been reaching out, trying to pull some other things in. Our last episode was about the hats that the players will wear on stage when they get drafted.
I saw
some
of your tweets about that. That was fun.
It's they've done some interesting things. So that's kind of where we are right now. And it's tough, but also really entertaining to try to put together NFL specific content through the off season.
Yeah, I think that would be challenging.
So we've been having a good time with it. I know last year I put out a show about the Tour de France. TK was on vacation, and I thought, while I'm here by myself, this is a thing that's going to happen. So we got to do Tour de France. And I also put out another solo show last year about the World Cup. So again, we do get a little outside of our comfort zone, but hopefully we'll be able to keep it almost entirely related to sports ball or sports ball things.
Yeah. So where can folks find you?
You can find us on Twitter at The Broken Plane. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play. We're on Spotify, The Broken Plane NFL Podcast. And the email address is the Broken Plane Podcast, brokenplanepod@gmail.com.
Did you say Twitter? You did say Twitter.
Twitter at The Broken Plane.
Okay, cool. And
That's
those
us.
will all be in the show notes here in the metadata of this episode. So if folks want to just be lazy and click there, they can open up the info panel of this episode, and there it will be.
Excellent.
JB, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for coming out. That was such a fun surprise to actually get to go see this with somebody else. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it up because I would not have seen this if you hadn't suggested it. So this was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Well, good. All right. Well, for That's Cool, That's Trash, I'm Matt Howell.
I'm JB from the Rook and Plain.
And you folks out there, stay trashy.
That's trash.
It's garbage, folks.
What the hell are you looking at? My fly unzipped or something?